Clear this up. Just for example, because I have it right here. X-Force number 9. Domino. Domino. Domino is Vanessa. The first appearance of Domino, New Mutants 98, is not Domino. It's her. Here we go, AKAPADers. One of the most important Deadpool comic books in the history of Marvel comic books. X-Force, Deadpool, Cable, New Mutants. Deadpool 4-issue miniseries, The Circle Chase. You guys have seen this cover before. This was also part of a great graphic design boom that Marvel was cranking out. They did a Gambit miniseries. A lot of those 4-issue miniseries of the time had, they had cover designs like this. And it's more graphical. I love it. I love the giant title. I just think these pop right off the comic book rack. This blew my mind. Because I guess I may have only read like the first issue. And I always thought I read all 4. If we want to appreciate the arc of Deadpool coming from a cold-blooded, somewhat wisecracking mercenary, like he was titled Mark with a Mouth very early on. But if we want that first Deadpool arc, because Deadpool pretty much has 2 arcs when it comes to comics. He premieres as a merc with a mouth. He's out to get Cable. He gets tied up with Juggernaut. He's mostly a background character. And we go forward 2 years. We go through X-Force. We go through the Cable single issue, or the Cable ongoing. Technically, Cable Volume 2, since Cable did have a 2-issue miniseries, the JR one. So we move through this era. These 2 years where X-Force becomes its own franchise within the X-Men franchise. I know. Okay, getting complicated. And the arc of Deadpool is to go from Merc with a Mouth to anti-hero. An anti-hero with a heart, with a new mission. From anti-hero with a new mission, he breaks the 4th wall and essentially copies the John Byrne She-Hulk. I think there's a video on that coming up, by the way. Because there's a bunch of really bad information, bad business memes going out about the She-Hulk breaking the 4th wall being bad, but Deadpool breaking the 4th wall being good. No. we're not going to let that fly on this channel. So within these 4 issues, we also get Fabian Nicieza. He's our co-creator and technically the creator of the anti-hero Deadpool. See, when we talk about comic book history and the creation of these characters move through waves. They move through arcs. They move through years, and sometimes a lot more. Like, just look at the history of Blade, okay? Nobody wants the Tomb of Dracula Blade ever on live action. They don't. They want the Wesley Snipes Blade to get popular, put that in the comic books, and then let that be the new cycle, right? What Fabian does here, he gives us the character for the first time. Him with Joe Madureira, who was maybe 17 years old at this time. Joe Madureira sells Deadpool as an action hero. Now, that doesn't mean Deadpool hasn't been in fights previously, but the way how Joe Mad's able to illustrate Deadpool, illustrate his family of characters, you just want more and more and more of. And here, we get a lot of action figures from this work and these designs. To me, this is the premiere of Deadpool. It's not what we saw in New Mutants 98 or his little appearances since then. It's easy to go and just say, these 2 guys, Rob Liefeld and Fabian, created Deadpool. These 2 guys did it. I believe through a character's history, we add names to the creation of the character. We do. But we're living, we're working and living kind of in a studio system still, still within the company. A lot of times, I feel like some of the editors, and this goes a little bit with the Roy Thomas Wolverine kind of, discussion. Some of the editors are in the room or on the phone calls, pulling the trigger, enabling things to happen. And it gets complicated. And that's why I call it a studio system. It's popular for comic book characters to have creators. It's unpopular for them to have more than two. It's really weird. The comic book world cannot fathom a single creator for some of these comic books. Rob Liefeld will make the argument that it was all him and he enabled it. There is a discussion point for that. But at the same time, we do things our way on this channel, the AKAPAD way, which is we go through comic book history and we add names. So guys, a young Joe Mad is slaying it with the lead. Mark Farmer, amazing inks. We have one fun story and we have a lot of effing characters. And we have Deadpool going on his very first character arc. Let's go. Well, AKA Powders, I'm sorry, I have a messy table. So I've been upcoming live stream. And my schedule has been horrible since Deadpool Wolverine came out. It really has. So anything you guys see from me, just know I have fought through hell, fire, and brimstone just to bring that to you. Coming up on live stream, we will be drawing Deadpool on these amazing pizza circles. I don't know. I might do front and back. And I'm thinking about calling the live stream Deadpool Spoilers because, you know, people freaked out over me spoiling that movie. We don't believe in spoilers here. So, if you haven't read Deadpool, The Circle Chase, if you haven't read this, leave the channel. No, but guys, real quick too, say hello to Pike and say hello to Crypt. They're our mascots. We are big fans of Joe Madora. I am a really big admirer at how ballsy I think the cover design is for all three of these. When you lay them out, right, like issues 1 and 2 work because we have the black background and we're mostly black and red, even though the lettering for Deadpool here, right, the inner fill is white. There's a perfection to this. There really is. And we get a little bit more confusing with issues 3 and 4. It just doesn't quite hit. This one has too much white, and this one has not enough red. I really feel like you know how they did red here? I just feel like this whole thing should be red. And then I just think the colors like Comcast here, these guys would pop. But we have a lot of characters in these issues. And what's the story? Well, it begins with Deadpool. We get something amazing. On every single pages 2 and 3, we get the gym shooter. This is what I do. These are my powers. This is what I'm all about. Moment. So here, Deadpool, we see Deadpool in action. He's making jokes. Ducks in a row. But he fights a bunch of mercenaries and we get some amazing Joe Mad semi-silhouettes here. Joe Mad does some amazing silhouettes. We'll see those coming up. But he's hunting down his friend Weasel. And then here we go. We get some information and the adventure begins. Let me just showcase this. And we're going to be all over the place here. And the reason is we have a through storyline. But issue to issue, we're introducing so many different characters, different situations. We just want to get to the point of issue 4. And issue 4 does wrap up wonderfully. But look at these pages 2 and 3. Look at these spreads. It sells Deadpool. It sells the character. I know a lot of you out there are comic book creators. I don't see this employed enough. I don't see this practiced enough. I mean, even here, Deadpool just like this guy's visor just shattering. Deadpool just unloading right into this dude's chest. I mean, it's visceral. It's wild. Even here, see, like he's got this dude in somewhat of a chokehold, and I love the lens just shattering. It's really cool stuff. Joe Mad too. He's not quite Joe mad yet when it comes to his use of blacks. He's going to get there with X-Men, but in here, he's really just drawing. And he draws a lot of different environments. Like, look at Deadpool going into this busted home. And every issue we get, look, this is Sarajevo, Yugoslavia, Civil War. Every single one of these issues begins with a different environment. Look, Cairo, Egypt. Sarajevo again, right? And then we're at this monk temple. And, oh, they don't tag. I thought they tagged this one. But we go through a lot of environments. And Joe Mad illustrates every single one of these environments. But so what does he need to do with Weasel? What does he get from Weasel? Well, they go back and forth, and we find out that there's a disc. There's a list. There's a will from a character that dies in X-Force 22. Which is referenced right here. Tolliver got killed by Cable, right? X-Force 22. Tolliver, I may actually do a 30-issue X-Force presentation. Because I think X-Force 1 through like 30, 35, it's one hell of an arc. It really is. And the artists and the designs and the way how all the characters change within X-Force is highly interesting. But yeah, X-Force 22, major issue. And everybody wants Tolliver's will. Because the will is connected to this weapon. And everybody wants the weapon to kind of do their comic book stuff and take things over and become a power player in the Marvel Universe. And along the way, we get this arch nemesis, Weapon X. The lore of Weapon X, the lore of everything Weapon X is doing at this point. Weapon X got disbanded post-Wolverine. This essentially is Weapon X Program 2. And this is the Weapon X of the second Weapon X. Wolverine is still Weapon X of the original Weapon X. We're there. We have a lot of Juggernaut. Juggernaut and his friend Black Tom. But here we go. We have New Delhi, India. We have a character here that looks like Rob Liefeld's Kirby or Rob Liefeld's Troll. Well, this dude, he just nukes a bunch of individuals. We're back. Sarajevo. Kane fights Deadpool. Deadpool. I love this page here. Deadpool just, we see he unloads on Kane's arm. And dude, look at these effects, right? Like the arm just spits out these bullets and he goes, did you lose these witty bitty bullets, Wade boy? Yeah, so they fight, and then Weasel's like, you guys are idiots. None of you have the information you're fighting for. He literally says that. It's incredible. Sorry, I take that back. They don't reference Cable, but they believe that they have some mutual interest. They're going to part ways. The Kirby guy in here, I just want to showcase this. He literally nukes these individuals, and he hands off information. That information, we're going to get into issue 2 real quick. And we have the will here. But that information gets traded off. And that information gets traded off here on issue 2, midway through. See, now we're at Bombay, India. I'm telling you, Joe Mad draws a ton of scenes in this. And we get a little bit of a disc. So part of it is the location is 2 pieces of information. Like, it needs to come together, and then we can find our weapon that can help us take over the Marvel Universe. I love this too. This is like one of Rob Liefeld poses. There's nothing that makes you more angry when you see another artist like steal your pose, and he just adds so much more life to it. But these 2 individuals, they fight, and we get this Slag guy over here. I love this sequence. Oh no, this isn't Slag. Slag's the next issue. This is, I'm forgetting. This is Slayback. So Slayback kind of walks into, again, we're in this other environment, very anime environment. Yeah, so he gets into the secure military base. I love this. Look, don't move this panel right here. And he later uses this as Psylocke. When Psylocke fights Sabretooth in Uncanny X-Men. And we just see, I love how this guy just drops to the ground. I don't know why. And the corridor here, like right here, I love the blacks. It's just so well done. You can tell it's at night. You can tell they have limited nights, lights, lots of shadows, because again, it's nighttime and this is the lone security guard. And then it's revealed that Slayback is back. And we get a lot of guys walking around in trench coats in this. Juggernaut, his friend Black Tom, because Juggernaut goes to hunt down Black Tom. He's like, where's my buddy Black Tom? And they're like, well, here, come with me. Boom. They open up the door. That's where we leave it. See? Right? And Juggernaut's like, holy... Well, guess what? Holy crap. Here's Black Tom, and he's part cyborg. He's Nano Black Tom now. This comes, I believe, from X-Force issue 4. I believe. Sabotage. So if we just bring this up to speed here, I want to kind of go through and admire, because now we have the will, right? We got the other piece of the information. And again, it's just a trace. We're going to go back and forth. We get some fantastic expressions, though. And Joe Mann, look, no background, but no background necessary. Because this pulls us in. And look how nice he draws him in his hair. But yeah, he eliminates these guys. Again, wonderful Joe Mann silhouette. And this dude's like, here you go. He actually hit everyone he was aiming for. Ah, be blessed. The most powerful weapon on the face of the planet. No kidding. Right, so the stakes are going. Juggernaut shows up, punches the building, collapses the building. Now, this is the Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld Juggernaut. And this is how the Juggernaut acts. You can kind of see Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane talking together, saying, wouldn't it be cool? Like, the Juggernaut's so strong, he should just be able to punch a building and bring it down. Up until this time in comics, Juggernaut was not used like this channel often. I mean, he was not used in this sort. He was not used in this manner. And now he's more of a pure unstoppable. He's almost like a Hulk level villain at this point, which is cool. I like pairing him with Black Tom. Black Tom, Blaze, Deadpool. They get the briefcase. And now here's Slug. And we have another guy in a trench coat. So we get, I mean, here we go. Like, how many? You just get like a lot of trench coat guys all of a sudden. See? Like separate characters. We got a lot of trench coat happening. It's comics. Guys, this is why I love in that live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie where Raphael just dresses up as, you know, like with the trench coat, and then he tries to hide himself. That's all you need to do. But yeah, he encounters Vanessa because Vanessa has ideas of the clues of where some of the information is. So this guy tries to hunt her down because we're kind of like the bounty hunters are just lurking around this weapon. We need everything from the fallout of X-Force 22. And Vanessa's like, well, look, we reference Ego. Tolliver blackmailed me into posing as X-Force's Domino for a year. So guys, we often reference the Domino impersonation. There is a year's worth of Domino appearances that are her. Let me make this clear. Where is it? To clear this up, just for example, because I have it right here. X-Force number 9. Domino. Domino is Vanessa. The first appearance of Domino, New Mutants 98, is not Domino. It's her. People have to correct this. Vanessa tells her mother, thanks for having me. Guy come back. She steals the guy's car. Then we're here. trading more info. So there's some really nice information here. Okay. Let me just break this down. We have a new environment. So we're sold at the new environment. We're sold that we're inside of a nice restaurant with this frame here, with the chandelier. We're sold that this is a high-end place. So we have a butler and they reference some food and it goes, the food's great. This is what I love. I'm not too crazy over this panel, right? I'm just not. But these 4 panels here, the flow that he's looking down, and see here, we echo that. He's still looking down. And then this, from panel 1 to panel 3 to panel 5. We're facing in one direction. So in effect, Joe Mad, you know, like he split the page perfectly, right? So the page is kind of split like that. Some of this is tougher sometimes, but it's a good storytelling trick. And look, we get to say, look, Mr. Deadpool had best say his prayers. So we got to get rid of Juggernaut and Black Tom and get the information. So Deadpool, yeah, he stowaways onto an airplane, starts to wreak hell, pops the door, grabs the case, fights everyone, right? Throws explosives, right? He's popping the door. And we see Black Tom and he kind of shoots this cable around him. So Black Tom's hanging outside the door. And I love this. He shoots it around Juggernaut and they both get sucked out of the airplane and he slams the door shut. And then that's it. We're done with Juggernaut and Black Tom for this series. And here we go. We're in Maine, another environment. Kane is just trying to get a breather. The private island is his haven. And guess who's here? Here we go, our boy. I want to see Deadpool dead, and I want to make sure it's Slayback who kills him. Okay. So this issue, again, Deadpool is tracking info. They're after him. He's got babes after him that he basically eliminates. We have this new character named Comcast. I'm not joking, Comcast. And all 3 of them are working in tandem. They go inside of Deadpool's mind to try and extract information. And we see the moment that Deadpool leaves Vanessa. And Deadpool at this point is just a mark. So part of Deadpool's backstory, people forget. He gets cancer, gets treatment, and then becomes Deadpool. This is before Wade Wilson gets cancer. But he leaves her. And he goes, and I also guarantee that you don't want to. That's right. You don't want to see me when I'm coming back because I'm bad business. And yeah, this is all inside Deadpool's mind. And Deadpool's kind of being tortured. We got Comcast here. He's got the info. Good for him. Another Joe Mad Pizza Hut, by the way, guys. They reveal Deadpool's face. Don't lose your lunch over it. Oh God, look at, and then boom, Weasel comes in. Weasel's got gadgets. Deadpool puts the mask back on, and they just wreak havoc on these 2 individuals as Vanessa finds her way into some of the information that Slug gave her last issue. She does her hacking. She's like, oh, these files are compromised. Who took the files? What are you talking about? He's like, look, girl, since Tolliver, you're the only girl that's been in this room. You're the only girl that's been in this 1980s unassuming office building. She's like, I'm done with you. I'm blue. Deadpool escapes. Right? Like, Weasel, not even paying attention, nukes Comcast. Deadpool goes through the girls. He actually impales one of them, which is incredible. And then the other one, too. He just uses one of her devices on her. Look, he just stabs her right through the gut. Stabs her, throws her, kind of blows up the air. So they kind of take out these 3 individuals. And people forget, Comcast has a Toy Biz action figure. And then here we go. We see Zero. So they print out some of the info. Now that they have the information and they have the location. So they're like, what is this? Unit 0. So that's the MacGuffin. It's a great revelation. And here we go. We got Slayback and Vanessa. Slayback catches up to Vanessa. Look how great of a design Slayback is. Does Slay get a Toy Biz action figure? Oh, I kind of forget. And if we just jump into issue 4, we have to comment of how great of a show Sequest DSV was. Can we please comment on how great of a show Sequest DSV was? So Deadpool kills a room full of monks with nunchucks. No remorse. I love it that he still draws some of these Rob Liefeld heads for Deadpool. Right? These are Rob Liefeld heads. Yeah, it's revealed that Slayback has Vanessa, but Kane is lurking. He's coming in hot. And everyone's just, right? Everyone's is, the circle is closing. And then we get into this weapons room, and look how Joe Mad draws these weapons. The perspective, it's just, it's beyond well done. And they're kind of passing around Weapon Zero, now realizing that's Weapon Zero. They're talking about it as if it's a mannequin. And then Weasel's over here. Duh. Have you noticed? Albino boy here is missing something. Right? And they're kind of talking about his wang. Kane shows up. Slayback and Vanessa show up. Let's fight. And basically we just get like a big fight, but we get some like kind of like really nice comic book moments by Joe Mad. I love how Joe Mad draws sectional technology here. Joe Mad would be a part of the Phalanx Covenant that did make it to the X-Men animated series, and his style of tech became the house style of that crossover, the Phalanx Covenant. Like, I feel like every X-Men artist at the time was trying to draw the Joe Mad tech. But yeah, look, they go back and forth. Slade impales Vanessa, stabs Vanessa, like right through the gut, right here. Vanessa goes to save Wade. And look, how could you have sacrificed yourself for him, for a pig like him? Because people hate Deadpool so much. And then Weapon Zero wakes up, nukes. Right here. Like, here's your anime moment. He nukes Slayback. And then he's able to transfer Deadpool's healing factor into Vanessa. Weapon Zero is a creature from the future. Okay, and we saw a lot of him in New Mutants and X-Force, the Rob Liefeld years. But he's a weapon of peace. He's a lot like the Sentinels in the Days of Future Past movie. That's a lot of what he reminds me of. We see some of the scarification of Deadpool. He heals her, but then throughout all of this, Deadpool's also kind of like longing and hunting for Vanessa. We kind of get some references of that early on in these first couple pages. Okay? And we realize that Vanessa is, the love of his life, but she's moved on and he has to let her go. So upon letting the love of his life go, Deadpool starts to turn a corner. Who knows, Weez? Maybe there's some hope for me yet. And this is the birth of Deadpool becoming an anti-hero. Up until this point, he was a mercenary and he killed. It didn't matter who he killed. If you were in his way, he would kill you. If he got paid to kill you, he would kill you. This is one hell of a fun read. I enjoyed it a lot. I really did. I just think this is a ton of fun. And to me, this is the birth of Deadpool. It's not New Mutants 98. Sorry, kids.